Hi Nelson. An hour ago. That's a great entry. Yeah, it's probably going to take out the previous day's low. It's looking like equal lows for me on NQ right here. I'm just wondering if we can reach into this level here. What a nice drop so far. Alright, so for now I am using the RTH low because price was in such a distribution. Therefore, I think that after taking out the previous day's low, I think it can trade up into the opening gap's low. Alright, so let's see if that plays out later on. We have 10 o'clock's candle right here. It doesn't have any wick towards the upside, so that could be a target as well. What I'm curious to see is that when it trades up into this RTH low, does it want to continue trading lower? Right. I think I'm just going to use the fibs for easy identification. This other block here, I want to see if it can provide some form of support, but I'm not in a hurry. Right, price has traded back into the opening range gap. Let's see if it wants to reach up higher into 10 o'clock's opening price, or does it want to continue to drop? This run below the previous day's low looks a little bit too shallow for my liking, if it is indeed going to be a turtle soup long. No, I don't keep it to just the New York session. I do trade the London session if it provides me with something. So usually for me, I would prefer to open a position during London and then hold it for New York. That's how I would like to trade most of the time. Alright, so right now price has reached into the new day's opening gaps low. Right now all requirements have been fulfilled. So at any point in time, if price wants to go lower, I would entertain that idea. But to me, the perfect setup would be above the daily opening price, because I would find more confidence shorting above the daily opening price. Right, we shall see if it wants to provide that. But if it can't even trade into the 25% of the opening range gap, then I think that we are really bearish. Alright, so at this point in time, because it's hovering around this area here and it's refusing to trade above the new day opening gap, I am thinking shorts into this low here, but I'll have to wait for 10:30 or best case scenario 10:50 because of the fact that price has ran a lot, and I think that it is unwise of me to short, especially below the daily opening price and especially after it has taken out the previous day's low. Right, so far we are in the vicinity of this high. It's also a 5 minutes fair value gap, so the likelihood of drawing into that level, it's to me higher as compared to shorts for now. On the 15 minutes we have this candle here. It's also the opening price of 10 o'clock, so this area here is a very possible area as well for long position targets. Now, as long as price can stay below 50% of the opening range gap, any shift in market structure here into the lows here, I can entertain that idea. On the 5 minutes, if we are able to close above this order block here, I would consider looking for longs within this down close candle. Alright, so as expected, we have traded into this level here. I would like to see a spike above. Utilizing the 15 minutes chart here, this is a fair value gap. To me, if price is going to be bearish, I don't really want to see it trade above this level here, because if it does, then I would look for the highs above here, or maybe even this candle here, this candle's high. I would see this as accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution higher. Alright, so we have closed the 5 minutes above this swing high here. I mean above this order block, sorry. So if price can form a fair value gap here, that would be great for me to go long. This is a 5 minutes candle. We are right now also above the new day opening gap, so I'm anticipating this to be support eventually I think we can look for the stops here as the low-hanging fruit objectives if it is to run higher. So let's just say if we have a fair value gap like this, I will look for lower time frame confluences. Right here we have the 1 minute fair value gap over here, coupled with the daily opening price and the breaker. Right, so I'm going to shift or refine the fair value gap. Right, in this case, to me the best buy would be the daily opening price if it wants to dig into this fair value gap, and I would prefer the gap to remain unfilled. So let's see, we have 1 more minute here, long position 5.75, looking for this equal highs up here. Because I'm anticipating a reversal profile, prices should span prices when trading higher should be parabolic. So right now it's 10:30. I'm gonna put my limit in. Using the fibs, swing low to swing high, 50% is right here. Let's see. I would honestly like it below 50%. Right, I'll just put it below 50%. One tick below 50%. Right here. No, it's fine. I'll use the daily opening price instead. Okay, let's watch it play out. For this one, because of TopStep's consistency rule, I'm gonna put my take profits here. Right now it's trading into this inversion fair value gap here. So this is one area of concern. It decides to trade up first instead of this fair value gap. I don't really like how it's trading up here first. But I think it's reaching into the 50% already of this level here. Yep. Yep, it's close to 50%. I don't really want to see this gap fill up entirely. So the best thing is that if it gives me, or if it wicks through it all the way and stops at the 50%, that would be great. We have 3 more minutes. No, actually 1 more minute to the end of this current 5 minutes candle. Right, if it is to trade here, I want to see it reject and close above the fair value gap. Right, 30 more seconds. Great, this is something that I want to see. Alright, so the next up close candle, I would like to see it close above this down close candle. It can be consecutive up close candles, it doesn't matter. As long as we don't get a down close candle in the middle, that's fine. I am expecting parabolic price action. Therefore, personally, I would like to see this gap not filled entirely. So far, the 1 minute has not shifted bullish in terms of order flow. It's still in the bearish order flow for now. Right, so 50% of the fair value gap is the most that I want to give for the price to trade until. I don't really want to see it trade beyond the 50%. This is not something that I want to see. If it fills the gap fully, it's a low probability. Right, I'll wait for the closing price of the 5 minutes candle. We have 3 more minutes. If it creates a CB down here, I'll cut my position. Or if the 1 minute closes below here, I'll cut my position as well. didn't give me a chance to do so. So right now I'll be looking for lower prices into here. I will have to wait for the close of this candle. But right now I think that we are going to take out the low here. Let's see. Right, so 30 more seconds. Right now would be here to here if it wants to provide. Unable to trade above this level yet. I mean this opening range gap. No, I don't think I want to take this trade. I will wait for a shift in the state of delivery on 30 seconds. It's kind of 50-50 right now. Right, so this was my initial entry. Well, it's a good thing that I removed my limit orders here. I mean, to me, this looks like we are in a consolidation if price is not willing to run lower. The possibility of it running lower is not really that high. I'm not sure, man, because right now what I can see is that short sign profits and they probably want to stop them out. So we have one stop out here. I want to see if it can reach above here. Let's wait and see. The last up close candle prior to this run lower. Well, if it decides to stop me out and then run higher, there's nothing I can say. High resistance liquidity runs. Seems like it. Last bearish order block here. If this candle is supposed to be a down, I mean, if this candle prints a down close candle, it should engulf this up close candle if price is to go lower. So let's see if we do have a change in the state of delivery on the 30 seconds. Right, any closing prices below this up close candle would verify that. The only conflict of interest would be that right now we are above the new day opening gap. watching the breaker here. This is the breaker. I'm watching how it's refusing to trade above the breaker. We are at 1050 now, so price should start to spool to a single direction. And whether is it up or down, that's what I'm waiting for. Alright, so right now I'm watching to see if price would like to run higher from these levels here. It's a 5 minutes busy, so I'll wait for a lower time frame shift in market structure. Right, preferably to 30 seconds chart here. Because of my initial stop out, I'm anticipating this to be high resistance liquidity runs. Therefore, retracements are probably going to be very deep. In this case, what I can rely on is this 15 minutes order block here and this order block here, but basically this order block here coupled with this inversion fair value gap. And right now, because we have closed below the 50% of the inversion fair value gap, to me it's low probability. So we shall see how price wants to navigate around here. So me shorting up here is basically using what ICT has taught over the past 3 days. This is your typical bull flag. This is the pole closing below here as we got at this very candle here. I'm expecting this to be inversion fair value gap, which is why I shorted around here to attack a short-term 5 minutes fair value gap. Right? Alright, so as anticipated, high resistance liquidity runs. It's probably going to trade into the daily opening price if we continue to go lower. Right into the consequent encroachment of the new day opening gap. We took out sell stops here, similar to how it took out sell stops here. So if it is to be bullish, it should run higher for now. Near-term objectives would be this high right here. We have a small little fair value gap. I'll wait for a 1 minute fair value gap. Right, so no 1 minute fair value gaps, no trade. I am most likely not going to take any more trades because first of all it's 11:30. Second thing is that I was able to negate most of my initial losses, ending the day with minus 46 in high resistance liquidity runs. I think it's worth it. So I'm probably not going to take any more trades, saving my mental capital for tomorrow. Thank you, Heiwa. I hope that I pronounced your name correctly. So because I won't be trading anymore, I won't be looking to open any more trades. I'm just going to show the executions here. Right, I was trying to take a long here on a 5 minutes busy, failed to hold, and I got stopped out right down here. So as price trades higher, after taking my stops, eventually I realized that we could probably be in a high resistance liquidity runs. So noting down this 5 minutes fair value gap, I took a short, exited right here. Okay, and eventually we did trade lower, but that wasn't the point. All I want to do is to negate this loss right here. So since I've done that, I will be sitting on my hands from now onwards to the end of the session. Tough trading conditions as expected prior to non-farm payrolls. Thursday. I don't like how price is stagnating below the 5 minutes fair value gap, because if we try to go higher, this shouldn't be the case. But I have to say, this run on the previous day's low, it's quite shallow, so it might want to run through it one more time. Not too sure about that. We'll have to wait and see. So far the body is respecting this busy here, but the fact that we have closed below the consequent encroachment, I'm not too keen in taking longs for now if I'm going to open a position. No, I don't trade forex. I'm focusing on indices futures. Yeah, the thing that the main reason why I choose indices is because I can pick the lowest lows. I mean, to me that is more satisfying and more fun when I can pick lows. Yeah, so that's the main reason why I chose to trade future indices. What do you mean by life back? have a live account in the live broker. So this funded, on this prop firm thing that I'm doing live stream is just for fun. Because on days like this, I'm not going to treat my live account because it's low probability. So what I do on such days, I come on to YouTube and I trade live for fun. At the same time, tip reading, so it's like a win-win situation. So for now, I'm actually doing like a TopStep challenge. I want to see how long it would take for me to pass this current trading combine right here. It's a 50k account. Right now I am down 800-ish. Yep. So yeah, I'm gonna live stream. My plan is to live stream all the trades that I take using this account here. So I want to see how far I can take this. It would be interesting to journal. For me, I would prefer to take out these highs rather than this low here. I would prefer that, but because of the current high resistance liquidity condition, high resistance liquidity run condition, it's very hard to confirm a certain bias, right? Because we have really deep retracements that typically does not happen if price is to reverse to the highs here. We should have a parabolic price delivery, but we're not getting that right now. So to make it simpler, if we close or starts to trade below the new day opening gap, this low would be next, and if we stay above like what we are doing currently, I think the draw on liquidity is right here. This down close candle here, it's not very clean. Nah, we shouldn't. I'm not going to key out this level. Would like to see this CB traded through if we are bullish, but as of now it seems like it has difficulty trading through this CB, which is not something that I want to see, because we have no problems trading through BCs, but right now we have problem trading through CBs. So yeah, if I'm long or if I'm looking for higher prices, this is something that I do not want to see. It's the second candle right now that is tagging the consequent encroachment here. Right, so a CB is basically a bearish fair value gap. It's sell side inefficiency and buy side imbalance, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, but basically it's a bearish fair value gap. So normally you want to see price when it trades up into this level here, you open your short position and you're anticipating price to go down. So the same applies to if you're bullish, you want to open up a long position here because you're expecting prices to trade higher. Right, we are probably going for this highs. Another 1 minute and 30 seconds. We would like to see this candle close above this CB here, and if the very next candle comes back down and touches this CB, I'm expecting this CB to act as support to go higher. So right now this is inversion fair value gap, if we can get a closing price above. Yes, you're right. No, it's fine. It's better not to have too many viewers. They are going to crowd the chats. Right now it's better, it's peace and quiet. Even though the chat could entertain me, it's quite boring because I'm reading off the higher time frames instead of the lower time frames. Alright, so we are closed above this CP here, so right now if it comes back down it's going to act as support, but to me personally I don't think it's going to come back down. It's going to run straight into this highs here, and I'm looking at this entire fair value gap to be filled and eventually trading above this highs. We are in the macro now, so 1150 to 1210. We should run these stops, and then because we're in high resistance liquidity runs, I'm expecting price to come back down again after taking out this highs here. Tough trading conditions, to be honest. Right, so if you can see right here, this old fair value gap, we came above, and right here this is supposed to be inversion, but it failed and went lower. It didn't respect any of the BCs, but eventually it did trade higher. So this is one signature, the first sign of high resistance liquidity runs. Therefore the second one is right here as well, deep retracements beyond the supposing, I mean this BC is supposed to support the price, but as you can see the wick through it. This is not a good indication for longs, but anyways we did eventually manage to run higher. So I'm expecting the same pattern to repeat over and over again until we take out the highs here. Maybe about 2 more times of such retracements. Well, but do keep in mind that right now NQ has already taken out these highs. So if ES fails to do so, that is also very problematic because it won't be in sync with NQ. And if we do ever get SMT right here, any closing prices below this candle, this up close candle, we are probably going to trade back into the new day opening gap. So it's going to range around here, chop around here, and eventually go higher. That's what I think. Yep. Tomorrow it's non-farm payrolls. We have this highs here. I mean, personally I would like to see price trade into this implied fair value gap on the daily. Right, so over here it didn't really trade into it. It basically matched the price exactly. So what I want is like something like this. If you can do it today, that would be best, and then lower. That's what I want to see. Well, let's see if we do it today, because the thing is that I would prefer and I would need it to be done by today. I am treating, the reason is because I'm treating this candle right here, the way it wicked higher, closing up all the gap from the opening price to the last candle's low right here. So this to me is immediate rebalance. So with regards to immediate rebalance, the very candle should provide an aggressive move lower in sync with order flow, and if this candle does not do so, the next candle would be the last chance for it to do so. If we don't get a closing price below this candle here, this low here, by the end of today, to me this is a very low probability immediate rebalance, which means I would anticipate price to attack this highs here during non-farm payrolls. Yep, that's about it. If you use the previous week's range, we have taken out previous week's high, so we should, in the normal circumstances, in normal condition, take out the previous week's low, right? So don't want to see price stay above the 75%, would much prefer it to trade lower, especially after it has ran all the way into a deep premium yesterday. Yep, that's my analysis on the daily for today and tomorrow. Alright, so ES wasn't able to take out the highs as compared to NQ right here. To me it's very hard to trust this BC right now. I would prefer to trust this inversion fair value gap at this point in time. Let's take a look at the highs here. Well, the bodies are not closing above this swing high, so this is problematic as well. It is 12 noon, so if price is to be bullish, it should not stay below the 12 noon's opening price for more than 30 minutes. So basically the first half it can stay below, but from 12:30 onwards price should start to trade above 12 trade above the opening price. Yes, it's showing weakness. It could trade down all the way into the mean threshold if it really wants to do so before higher prices. For NQ, it might do the same thing here, but it's way more bullish than ES, that's for sure. NQ is able to close above this CB here. Alright, so we have tagged the inversion fair value gap. If I'm really strict on this, in a perfect normal day, I don't want to see the inversion fair value gap traded all the way to the low. Right, but I'm probably closing the stream soon because I usually only stream up till 12:10, so you don't have to come back anymore. Just letting you know. Alright, I appreciate your willingness to want to come back. Right, so because we have closed below this inversion as expected, due to the fact that we have not made higher highs compared with NQ, the other thing is that we are in a high resistance liquidity run. Very, very tough trading conditions here. Now because we have SMT here, if let's just say we trade below this low and below the new day opening gap, I will look for this low here. But on an hourly time frame, it doesn't make sense for NQ. Alright, so let's see how this plays out eventually. So for NQ, I traded all the way back down into this feather the gap again. Alright, I think I'm gonna end the stream for today. Right, so just for a short summary, today's P&L is negative 46. Took an initial stop out here, and then I took a shot here into this feather gap, which somehow or other covered most of my losses for the initial run. So this is the business here. There was no other trades, right? So this is only 2 trades per session. That's what I am looking for. If the first one is a loss, right? So with this, I'll end the session. Hopefully we have a better price action tomorrow after NFP, right? And I'll see you tomorrow.